What is going on, guys? Welcome to the HQ. Okay, so I got this place about 6 months ago, and one of the number one reasons why I got it was boundaries. Boundaries is super important to me between work and life. My life is changing super quickly. We're about to have our third daughter due this October. So about a year ago, I started to think what it would look like to have a headquarters where I could have a gym set up, I could have an office set up for Wilshire Consulting, and just have a distinction between work and home life, And one of the biggest things for me is being able to leave work here as well as I can. I'm not perfect. And then go home 5 p.m., 6 p.m., whatever it may be, and then just totally be present, totally be in the moment with my family. Sometimes going as far as leaving my computer and my work phone here at the HQ. Not only that, awesome spot for me to connect with in-person clients, and also my passion project, which is Reconnected Health, my health coaching business, and work with a couple of in-person clients and get the online portion of it rolling as well for the content studio that I'm about to show you. So I'm gonna pause the video here. I'm gonna show you a clip of what this space looked like before I built it into how it looks now. It took about 3 months of construction to get it exactly the way that I wanted it. And to be totally transparent with you guys, is around $30,000 to $35,000 in construction labor and construction material. And then with the equipment, I'll show you that and the cost as well. The rent on here is $1,300 a month plus tax, so it's about $1,500 a month, which again, isn't too bad, especially in this area where I'm at. And for me, the transition time of 20 minutes from where I live to this office and then 20 minutes back, for my mental health, having that transition time before I get home and I'm full on dad mode, totally worth it, let alone everything else in terms of how I can utilize this space. Not very big, it's only about 800 square feet, but it's got 3 main portions, which I'll show you here in a second, which are 3 very important portions to everything that I do inside of my coaching business and how I live my life. And not only that, the main reason why I got this space actually has nothing to do with this space at all. It's actually the nature and the river, which is right across the street, which I'll show you at the end of this video. So with that being said, let's get into the tour. All right, guys, so this space has 3 main parts to it. Obviously, you see the gym right here, which I'll show you in a second. But then we have the meeting room here and the content studio, which I'll show you now. And then right behind this wall here is my office. So those are the 3 portions to the 800 square feet that we have. So starting with the meeting room, the vision I had for this was luxury nature. And I wanted some nice leather couches, nice leather chairs. I wanted good plants to purify the air, and I wanted a dark brown / dark green feel to everything. And that's exactly how I created this space. Has nice natural light. There's a big bay window. As you can see, the light shining on my face here. And this is a really good spot, number 1, and most importantly, for me to create content. We've got Clint behind the camera right now, filming this content right now. And we do podcasts, we do reels, we do a lot of different videos here, which is a really good backdrop for a lot of stuff that I'm working on for Wilshire Consulting and then Reconnected Health as well. And it's also good because I have some consulting clients that also come here and we'll do meetings here. I'll get out the whiteboard, I'll get out my computer, we'll mastermind, or some of my health coaching clients, if we're going over their programming, their blood work, whatever it may be, this is a really good spot to just meet. I have a kitchenette behind this wall here. We'll get a coffee, we'll get a tea, whatever it may be, and we'll talk about their game plan and be on their way. So this couch, these chairs, as you can see here, come on in, Clint, just got off Wayfair. Not bad prices. They're definitely a cut above some other items that you can get, but something that fits the space really nicely. Old coffee table that worked well in the space that we actually just had lying around at home. And then these plants, obviously I've got 2 plants in the corner, 1 plant in the corner here, and then a few along the window side here. To be totally honest with you guys, I did go a little bit overboard with the plants. As you can see, I've got more in here too. The reason why I did was less about me wanting to have a ton of plants and honestly more so me purifying the air. There's people who live upstairs. Buddy upstairs likes to smoke weed at certain times of day, just so you know. And sometimes I can smell it a little bit. So getting snake plants, getting some different plants here just really help purify the air. So anyway, this is the first kind of spot in the HQ. works really, really well for what I want to use it for. And even during my days in my consulting, if I have a lot of Zoom calls, whatever it may be, me coming out here, just reconnecting, getting a sip of coffee or water, going for a nice little walk, coming back, thinking about my notes, writing out, brain dumping, really cool energy shift between my Zoom calls and my work, and then coming out here, having some nice natural light and just breathing and transitioning before my next task. So that's this space. So this is the gym area, as you guys can see. If you haven't watched my garage gym review video that I did about a year ago, a lot of that equipment is now here. There's some changes, which I'm gonna walk you through here. But something that's really important to me is not just the full-on training workouts that I do 4 or 5 times a week, but it's also little micro workouts or movement flows that I can do in between calls when I'm in my office over here. Moving my body, I'm a little bit different. I don't know if I have ADD or what it is, but working online, which is the nature of my work, and the Zoom calls that I do are great. I'm very blessed to be able to do what I do and make a living doing what I do. But sitting in a chair all day, I do not love. I need to move my body. I need to have a workout area. And obviously there's hikes and there's a river across the street as well. So consciously designing this environment to make my work, but also have a movement facility here, not just for myself, but for some clients too. That was the whole goal for this. So we're gonna start here and we're gonna make our way around the perimeter. As you can see, I've got my ski erg. This is really good. If you guys don't know, I live in Canada. So having some different aerobic and anaerobic modalities here is really important when the weather gets really nasty and there's a ton of snow. You can't really go for walks or runs, things like that. So I've got the ski erg here. Here I've got a plate tree. As you can see, I got all Rogue Olympic plates with the metal, I don't know what you call this, but I just really like the sound as we're putting it on the barbells, and it's one of the most premium plates that you can get, which I really like. Rogue makes incredible equipment. As you can see, I've got the Rogue. This is a half rack. I've got the Rogue bar, Rogue bench as well. I've bought cheap stuff before. That's actually a cheap bench, as you can see. I think that's about all that I have cheap in here, but I hate cheap stuff. I've bought cheap garage gyms before in the past. They either break or I just don't like them. If you buy, I don't want to say expensive, but if you buy quality from the start, not only is it better quality experience working out, but it also makes you want to work out more. That might just be me, but I love investing in quality stuff. So this is the rack setup. One thing I do have, which is unique, these are the Eleiko collars, beautiful collars. As you can see, they just very simply fit on and they just snap on like that. There's no like grinding and trying to get the collars off the barbell. They just slap on, slap off, and then because they're magnets, you just put them right on the rack, which saves a lot of time and is great. So that's a rack setup. Obviously, you can see the mirror here too. I put all these mirrors on this side of the wall. Just really nice to be able to assess your form, and just really nice to have some good full-length mirrors inside of your fitness facility. Rogue box, dumbbells. This is from my garage gym that you guys may have seen in the last video. Does the trick. Foam roller, and then I've got some different barbells and trap bar. This is actually an Eleiko trap bar. Not sure exactly what the name is. They have a specific Swedish name for it, which is not coming to mind right now. Rogue curl bar, Swiss bar, buffalo bar, and then just another normal bar. So this is pretty much all I have for strength work right now, but honestly is all I need. I also have a garage gym at home too. I'm super spoiled with that. And this does most of the trick for me and some of the different movements that I do, not just with myself, but with my clients. Then we've got the Rogue Echo Bike. Again, this is really good for when we're doing different sprints and different anaerobic activities. Really good in the winter, and I prefer to do sprints and some more training like that on the mountain, which is close to us as well. I like doing hill sprints versus this. I just like to get outside as much as possible, but in the winter, this comes in very handy. Then on the back here, we've got kind of an awkward step up, as you can see. The building, this step wasn't here when we got here, but this was. It was kind of an awkward, just an awkward placement with the building before we got it. And there's a storage room in here, which we needed to step up to as well. So my contractor and I, we built this. And when I say my contractor and it was my contractor. I didn't help at all, I just paid him. I just put down some rubber mat flooring here. And as you can see, I've got all kettlebells from, let's see, about 10 pounds all the way up to 70. And then I have 100 pounders actually at home in my garage gym. I've got the Velocidor, what is this called? Dip rack as well. So I'll put that on the Rogue rack and do my dips. I love this. You guys saw this in the garage gym video. I love this dip attachment. Some snake plants to purify the air. And then last but not least, we've got the Atlas functional trainer. I really wanted one of these guys and I love this. There's pros and cons to this though. I do a lot of different movements, especially single arm movements that help with bracing core, bracing glutes, hips, some different elements that way as well with clients. Doesn't fit totally well with my space. If I would have redone this, I probably would have got the Rogue single tower because I don't do a lot of movements where I need both of these cables at once. I usually do single arm. So the single tower just saves you a hell of a lot of space. So if I would redo that, that's one thing I would redo. But this works for now before I upgrade to something else. So that's all we got for the gym. And then we've got the tiles, as you can see here. Nothing fancy, but they did a really good job. Every time I lay garage gym floor, guys, I always hire it out. Reason being is because when you hire it out, they do such a good job. They cut the edges very clean and it looks really good. The flooring and the ceiling, I'm not sure if you can pan up there, Clint, but the ceiling and the flooring and the paint, that makes the difference. That makes the energy of the room. So the ceiling, as you can see here, before it was just shitty drop tiles that they had like you would see in the normal office environment. But what we did is this is kind of a mixture between oak and I think it's plastic or epoxy, but it has a really good color to it, which is what I wanted. I wanted the luxury nature feel. So we put all this in all of the roof around the 800 square feet, put in some pot lights, creates a really good vibe. We have lights on dimmers as well, which is cool. And that completes the space for the gym. Last thing I'll show you is some of the art before we get into to the office. So this, if you can't tell, is jade stone, and you guys probably have no idea what this is. This is Vancouver Island. My wife and I lived in Vancouver Island a couple years ago, and it was one of the best years of my life. I absolutely loved it there. So much nature, so much that you can do. And our real estate agent, who actually sold our house for us and is also a close family friend now, she bought this for us right before we left, and fits perfectly inside of the energy of this space, which is great. That's a Sitka spruce tree as well, which is pretty prominent out there out west in Vancouver Island. And then over here, I've also got this art by Real Fun Wow is the company name. His name is Darren McGee. You guys can look him up. I love this art, kind of how we're connected with nature. I had this in my garage gym, but now it actually fits perfectly inside of this space as well. And that's also something I wanted. I wanted a little bit of art feel to this, this HQ, and was able to do that nicely with everything we've built. So that is the functional fitness area. All right, guys, so this is the third and final area to the space that I have, and this is my office. So as you guys can see, this is where I do my Zoom calls. This is where I work on my computer, which is like 90% of the work that I do. And I love this space. As soon as I saw this space, I was like, this is where my office is going, because it looks just directly at these trees. And I love just looking at these trees, especially when the sky is nice and blue like it is today. It's a great way not only for me to look at visually, but also the natural light is just good for my Zoom calls. And then over here, I've just got some books that I like reading and gives me good ideas for content and different elements that way as I'm working or as I'm creating a different promotional material for some of my companies. I've got a bathroom over here. As you can see, some pictures again of Vancouver Island. Bathrooms here, and then we've got my kitchenette here, which I primarily just make coffee. Sometimes I bring my lunch and I do some stuff here, but this is pretty much all I need it for. And the last but not least is the wallpaper here. Again, I wanted a little bit of a different vibe in this room versus the other rooms. So this is like a black luxury marble wallpaper. And it's just a nice background for my Zoom calls because that's where I do all my Zoom calls and the work on my computer. Pro tip for wallpaper, by the way, guys. Again, I hire this stuff out. Wallpaper can get super messy and it's very finicky. For me, it's worth the money to hire it out if you're not good at it, which I'm not. But if you guys want to give it a try, by all means. I really like wallpaper because I used to do accent walls all the time with paint, and it looks great too. Wallpaper gives it a different feel, different energy, and I wanted to accent walls with wallpaper, and I was able to do that in this space. So that is the office space. All right, guys, and this is the secret spot. We've got a beautiful river going for kilometers all the way down here. There's beautiful trail system all along the river, beautiful backcountry roads as well. I'll go for long runs on, beautiful forest hikes, all literally steps from my office, which is right across the street over there. So this was kind of the decision maker, to be quite honest with you, with getting the HQ. And in spring, summer, fall, honestly, even winter sometimes, put on some snowshoes. There's some nice trails as well. It's what I'm all about, especially in between calls, break up the day, get outside, get some fresh air. So anyway, guys, this is the last secret spot, and one thing I wanted to show you about the HQ. All right, guys, so that's the video of the HQ. Very holistic for me. It's not just work, but it's also 2 different coaching businesses. It's also a nice 20-minute drive for me to get into business mode instead of being in dad, husband mode all the time at home. And then it's really close to nature, different hikes, the river, and so many different opportunities to just get outside, have a couple hours outside in the sun, breathe some fresh air, and then come back, do my Zoom calls or whatever else I need to do, train my clients for the various businesses that I have. So that is the HQ. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Maybe it gave you a couple of ideas for your own HQ as well. Let me know in the comments down below any questions that you have or what your biggest takeaways were, and I'll see you guys in the next video.